There's a moment right after you wake up when the world is still silent, and for a brief second, you remember who you used to be, a man with fire, direction, hunger for something real. But that second dies quickly, replaced by the same cold routine. Your hand reaches for the phone, almost by instinct, like a prisoner reaching for his chains. Notifications, messages, meaningless noise. Before your first sip of coffee, your mind is already fragmented, scattered into 1,000 broken pieces. You sit there, scrolling, searching for something you can't even name, hoping for a spark, a reason, a pulse of energy. But it never comes, and the day begins to slip, like dry sand, through hands too weak to hold it. You tell yourself it's just a bad week, just poor sleep, but deep down, where the truth hides, you know better. This isn't exhaustion. This isn't poor time management. This is collapse. You've lost control over the one thing that shapes your reality, your attention. And when a man loses control over his attention, he loses control over his entire life. You don't need another productivity app. You don't need another motivational quote on your feed. What you need is a reckoning, a brutal confrontation with yourself. To understand why you can't focus, you first need to understand who profits from keeping you distracted and why you've allowed it. Epictetus once said, "No great thing is created suddenly, and neither is focus. It's forged in silence, in discomfort, in the violent refusal to be dragged by every little noise the world throws at you." The truth about focus is darker than anyone ever told you, and today you're going to face it. Distraction is not an accident. It's a system, a carefully designed mechanism built to keep you weak, fragmented, easily controlled. Every app on your phone, every notification, every endless scroll was engineered with one purpose: to hijack your mind, to turn your attention into someone else's profit. And you became a willing participant. You traded your focus for cheap dopamine, for the shallow comfort of constant stimulation. You scroll, not because you choose to, but because you've been trained to crave it, like a dog, responding to a bell, chasing a reward that never truly satisfies. And each time you give in, you teach your brain to expect less effort, less depth, less silence, until even the simplest task feels unbearable. Reading a page, finishing a project, having a single uninterrupted thought becomes a battle you're losing day after day. You tell yourself it's just modern life, that everyone's like this now. But that's the biggest lie. The truth is, your ability to focus was never meant to survive in this environment. This world was designed to break you, to pull you deeper and deeper into the abyss of distraction. Epictetus once said, "No great thing is created suddenly, and neither is distraction. It creeps in, one click at a time, one notification at a time, until you wake up one day, unable to hold a single thought for more than a minute." But here's the brutal reality. This isn't just about your phone. It's about your mind, your will, your identity as a man. If you want to escape this abyss, you'll have to fight for every inch of your attention, like a warrior dragging himself out of the mud, with blood on his hands and fire in his eyes, because the first step is to understand the enemy, and the enemy is inside you now. Either you learn to inhabit the silence, or you'll remain forever a slave to the noise. You keep waiting, waiting for the right mood, waiting for energy to appear, like some divine force to lift you from the chair and push you into action. You tell yourself, tomorrow I'll feel different. Tomorrow I'll have more willpower. Tomorrow I'll finally focus. But tomorrow comes, and you're the same man, sitting in the same chair, staring at the same screen, feeling the same heavy emptiness. This is the illusion of motivation, the lie that says you need to feel ready before you act. The truth is far more brutal. Focus does not wait for your feelings. It doesn't care if you're tired, anxious, uninspired. Focus is built in the middle of discomfort, in the middle of resistance, in the silence, where there is no applause, no dopamine, no reward, just you and the task and the voice in your head, screaming for escape. But still, you sit and you begin. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Read that again. This is not about mood. This is about identity. Who do you choose to be when everything inside you wants to quit? Most men wait for motivation like a prisoner waits for rain in the desert. But motivation is unpredictable, fleeting. It appears and disappears. Like smoke, what you need is something heavier. Discipline, the slow, cold, unromantic decision to show up again and again and again, even when your heart isn't in it, even when every cell in your body screams for comfort, especially then, because those moments when you act despite the weight are the moments that shape you. They carve you. They turn you from spectator into participant, from victim into creator. There's a reason why most men stay stuck in cycles of distraction and regret. They're waiting for an emotional permission slip, waiting for some cosmic signal that never comes. But here's the truth. No one tells you. You don't need to feel like working to work. You don't need to feel like focusing to focus. Discipline is action, without negotiation, without debate, without waiting for the stars to align. It's standing up when your mind begs you to sit. It's writing the first word when your hands shake from doubt. It's doing the next hard thing because you said you would, not because you feel like it. Discipline is brutal. It has no sympathy for your mood swings, no care for your excuses, no interest in how hard your day was. Discipline demands, and you deliver, not because it feels good, but because your identity now depends on it. This is where most men fall. They romanticize productivity. They imagine themselves one day full of energy, grinding with passion, headphones on, lost in flow. But real focus is ugly at first. It's slow, clunky, awkward. It feels like walking through mud. But every time you choose to push through that mud, you're building something the world can't take from you. A mind that acts regardless of mood. A will that refuses to break. And eventually, on the other side of that resistance, there will be flow, there will be clarity, there will be days where the work feels like breathing, but not today. Today, you build. Today, you fight. Today, you sit with the discomfort and you act anyway, because this is what separates men who dream from men who build. You don't need motivation, you need discipline. Every distraction you chase, every moment you surrender to mindless scrolling, every task you abandon halfway, they all have something in common. Comfort, not the kind that heals, not the kind that restores, but the kind that numbs. The soft, toxic comfort that whispers, relax, you've done enough, this can wait, you deserve a break, and you listen again and again and again. What begins as a 5-minute pause becomes an hour lost, a day wasted, a life diluted. Comfort and wears many faces. The couch, the endless YouTube videos, the cheap dopamine of social media, even the endless planning and overthinking disguised as productivity, but in truth, just another layer of avoidance. You're not tired because you work too hard. You're tired because you live in constant escape. Your mind is never fully here, never fully present, always halfway between what you should be doing and what feels easier in the moment. But here's the truth no one tells you. Comfort is not neutral. It's not a harmless refuge. It's a trap, a slow, invisible erosion that strips away your sharpness, your edge, your hunger. Epictetus warned us, difficulties are things that show what men are. And what are you showing when you choose the soft path? Day after day, you're showing that resistance owns you, that your life is governed by momentary impulses, not long-term vision. There's a shadow side to every comfort you choose. The video you watch to escape steals the hour you could have used to build. The nap you take to avoid discomfort steals the mental clarity you could have earned by pushing through. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you're telling your nervous system, I can't handle pressure. I can't sit with discomfort. I need to escape. And your mind believes you. It learns. It adapts until even small tasks feel like climbing a mountain. The solution is brutal in its simplicity. You must start choosing discomfort on purpose, willingly stepping into the friction, sitting with the itch to escape, and not moving, feeling the urge to open your phone, and letting it pass, starting the work before your brain has a chance to argue. The comfort you crave is the cage you built for yourself, and every time you choose resistance, you crack the walls just a little more. You begin to remember that focus is not supposed to feel easy. It's supposed to burn. It's supposed to stretch you, bend you, make you question yourself. That's where the growth lives. On the other side of that burn, you want to build focus? Then build your tolerance for discomfort. Turn the friction into your training ground. Turn the silence into your sanctuary. Turn the urge to quit into your call to rise. Because the truth is simple, no man becomes strong by running from what hurts. Focus lives where most men surrender. Focus is not an accident. It doesn't appear out of thin air. It's not a mood, not a gift, not a lucky day when the universe decides to be kind. Focus is built, ritual by ritual, choice by choice, minute by painful minute, and like all sacred things, it starts with preparation. You want to control your mind? Start by controlling your space. Clean your desk. Put the phone away. Silence the noise, not because these small actions are magical, but because they are symbolic. They tell your brain, this matters now. This is not casual. This is not negotiable. This is war. Before you write a word, before you lift a weight, before you start the work, you perform the ritual. Sit with your back straight. Breathe slowly, deeply, like a soldier before battle. Feel the discomfort of stillness and stay there because your body listens. And when you shape the body, you shape the mind. Epictetus said, first endure and then take action. Endure the restlessness. Endure the boredom. Endure the voice inside screaming for distraction. Then move. Start small. A single line written, a single page read, a single decision made. Let that small act become momentum, but never skip the ritual, because without it, you're just another man, sitting in front of a screen, hoping that focus will come. Like rain in a drought, it won't. Focus needs a doorway, and the ritual is the key. It's how you tell your mind, we're crossing a line now, from chaos into discipline, from noise into clarity. And yes, it will feel unnatural at first. You'll want to check your phone, you'll want to stand up, you'll want to delay just 5 more minutes. But each time you complete the ritual, you sharpen the blade, you reinforce the identity of the man who shows up, a man who honors the work. Because focus isn't just mental, it's physical, it's environmental, it's spiritual. The monk doesn't find peace by accident. He creates it. Every day, through repetition, you are no different. You don't need motivation. You don't need inspiration. You need a ritual, a line in the sand. That marks the beginning of your war against distraction, because in the end, your focus is not a gift waiting for you. It's a temple that you build brick by brick with your own hands. Your attention is your temple, and you are its guardian. Focus is not something you earn once and keep forever. It's fragile, it slips, it fades faster than you realize, and every single day you will wake up faced with the same silent question. Who's in control today, you or the noise? This is the truth most men refuse to face. Focus is a daily battle. You don't win it once, you win it again and again and again. Some days you will fail. You will scroll mindlessly. You will skip the ritual. You will surrender to comfort. And when that happens, the weak man uses it as proof that he's broken. He tells himself, I'm just not disciplined enough. I'll never change. This is who I am now. But the strong man understands something deeper. Failure is not the end, it's part of the rhythm. The only real failure is to stop choosing to stop showing up the next day, to let one bad day become a bad week, then a bad month, then a wasted year. Epictetus said, "No, man is free, who is not master of himself, and mastery is not found in perfect streaks, it's found in the decision to return, to sit down again, to breathe again, to begin again, even when everything inside you wants to give up." You won't always feel strong. You won't always feel clear. But clarity is earned through action, and strength is built through repetition. So here's the truth. Every morning, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads back to the same distractions, the same dopamine loops, the same restless, fractured version of yourself. The other path leads to something harder, something quieter, but infinitely more powerful. The path where you choose to sit, to work, to build, no matter how small the step. That choice is yours. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, because no one's coming to save you. No app, no guru, no magical productivity system. It's just you and the decision you make in this moment. Let the world scream. Let the distractions pull. Let the comfort seduce. You stay still. You choose, because focus was never about hacks. It was always about who you decide to become. When it hurts, when it's boring, when it's lonely, and when no one is watching. The world will keep screaming, but you will learn to hear the silence.